If you're not already following Meg Journals here on YouTube, you should definitely go over and check out her account if you're into art journals and junk journals, because she has some really great and unique ideas. I watched a video of hers last night where she made her own washi tape using sheets of sticker paper. My mom bought me these double-sided sticker papers a few years ago at Christmas, and I could never figure out what to do with them, but I'm going to try this now. This one's really pretty because one side has this nice pink color on it and one side just has plain white, and I think I'm going to use the pink colored side. So basically you just glue stuff all over and then you cut the piece of paper into strips, and then that gives you some ready-made collage fodder for when you're working on a collage. So I have my little inspiration box here, which is this box that I keep little bits and pieces of things that I pick up along the way, and I think I might want to use them in a collage. And I'm just going to pull out some things from here to use, and then I will just kind of get going with it. So the fun thing is you don't really have to worry too much about your design and your layout. You just want to make sure that you're doing something that's interesting, that's going to look interesting on your washi tape. And you get this really nice abstract type of paper when you're done. Abstract washi tape, I mean. So I'm just gonna glue that there, and maybe I'll put this one up here. This one I created myself quite a while ago using an old dictionary page and some stencils and some chalk pastels, and I really liked how that paper turned out. I'm working my way through it, and I'll probably create some more. So I'm kind of going with this pink-ish color scheme as I go through the paper, and I'm going to put like some neutral tones with it as well, and just some little bits and pieces of things that I have. I kind of like the pink, so I'm just putting some regular old masking tape here and there. This is a pink masking tape. I got a pack of these tapes. They're a little bit more narrow than typical masking tape that you get, and I just really like how they look because they're a little bit transparent. I've got some stickers around, so let me just put some of those here and there as well. And as I was mentioning, I do want to leave some of the background color showing, so I'm not going to fill that in too much. I'm just going to look around and see what I've got here in my inspiration box. There's a circle. I like using circles. I have a circle paper cutter that makes these nice big circles, and I just keep little pieces of interesting papers and make circles out of them and put them in my art. There's another kind of text. It's kind of white though. I'm not going to use that white on it. I think I want to keep going with the beigey and pink look. There's a little piece of a map. Let me get that on there. And I think it's actually kind of fun to use some actual washi tape in your washi tape that you're making. So here's a roll of this tape that I really like. It looks like tickets. That's gonna look nice when I cut all this up. And maybe another kind of a piece of map. Just put this like here. That's fun. Okay, and off camera and pull out some stuff. Okay, I'm back. I got a whole bunch of things now, including this little stencil that I think I'm going to use in a few places. So I got some acrylic paint, just like good old craft paint type of thing. I don't really want anything on here to be full on white. Oh, this one isn't working. I gotta see if I have another paint. I don't want anything on here to just be like bright white. I want to kind of give it a bit of an antiqued look, because I think that's going to look really nice with the pink and the neutral colors that I'm using. So, okay, there we go. Give it a blob of that. And I've got this spun gold acrylic paint. That's going to be nice. So I'll just mix this together really well with my sponge that I'm going to use, and it's just going to bring the brightness of the white down a little bit, and then also give the paint a little bit of shimmer. Not totally sure how that's going to show up on the pink or on camera, but I'm going to give it a try. So let me put a couple little stencil-ish things here and there. Probably got too much paint on this. Yeah, too much paint. It's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe, I haven't glued these on yet. Maybe like just this little part down here with these dragonfly, I guess, and some little leaves. Maybe a little bird. Okay, that looks all right. Okay, let me do like a little leafy thing up here. Oh, that looked pretty good. That looks pretty good, turned out. Okay, I'm gonna do another one of those down here. So like, I'm not really thinking a whole lot about the design. I want the washi to be really fun and random, so I'm just kind of going with it. And when I was looking for stuff, I found this art book of paintings from a painter that I don't know very well. I picked it up when I was in Paris, and it's got little pictures of little black and white pictures of pieces of artwork that is kind of fun, and I like that they're in black and white. So let me put one of those there, and then this is just a piece of paper from a notebook that I have. I'll just put this here and just kind of keep going with things. Now, some of these things are looking like a little bit dark, and I don't really want that, so I'm going to put them into the background a little bit. So I've got just a little bit of acrylic paint still. I use wax paper these days as a palette, because I think it's just really nice to use, and then I got them on hand all the time, so, and then I can just throw them out. I had a whole roll of wax paper around for the longest time and didn't know what I was going to do with it, and then it just kind of came to me that I should do this with it. So yeah, I'm gonna put another blob of white paint. Oh, that's the one that's not working. I'm gonna put another blob of white paint here and mix it with a bit of a brown, I think, to create more of an antique look. So let me see. Okay, so just got like a burnt umber acrylic paint here. That should do it. really nice white around called like antique white or something like that, but I can't find it. Okay, that came out good. So I don't want this to be so opaque, so I'm going to mix some of that with some water just over here on the other side of my wax paper. There, that looks like it'll be better. Okay, so I'm going to bring put some of this in the background so that it's not quite so dark. And then maybe while I've got this paint on my brush, I'll just do some little like blobby flowery things here and there. That'll probably look nice. I'm just pushing some of these darker things into the background so that things will look a little bit more unified. And do a little of that up here, and just I liked how those little things turned out, so I'm gonna do a little more over here, and then maybe I'm going to make that into like a nice little vine. I've got a super skinny fine liner marker, so let me kind of join these together. With just some little branchy things, and it's very, very subtle. This is a very, very, very thin fine line marker. Okay, got some white masking tape here. I kind of like how this looks too, because it's a little bit translucent, and that's a little bit more white than I want it to be, so I'll come back with my brush. Okay, I think things are looking pretty good here. Let's see what else I've got. Oh, there's another little picture of this lady here. Maybe I'll put that somewhere around there. So I'm just using this like beigey color paint just to take the white down a little tiny bit, because I think it's going to look a lot nicer. Maybe I'll do a little something on this pink masking tape so that I could still see the pink, but it just gives it a little bit of texture. And I've got lots of stamps and stamp pads. Maybe I will do some stamping. This is like a postal stamp, so I'm going to try that one. I dropped that stamp, and it went way over on the other side of the room. So I'm putting it on one of these stamp block things. I'm using, the color of ink I'm using right now is called Vintage Photo. It's from the Tim Holtz Distress Ink line. I think that should be dry enough there. Nice. And I was just really happy when I found out that these stamps actually say Paris on them, because I used them in my travel journal from when I went to Paris. I've mentioned Paris like 3 times now. I must be dreaming of it. I would love to be back there. That's for sure. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous city. If anybody ever gets a chance to go there, just like go for it. Maybe this stamp with some text on it can go somewhere around here. Cool. Okay. And I don't know, there's a little bird. Let me put him around. About right here with this lady, on top of this lady, like he's sitting on top of that picture. Oh, that came out nice. Okay. I'm gonna do another one. Put one down here on the edge, because that made a really nice impression. There. Okay. So now I can kind of start to see that my little painting that I did, it's getting really super blendy in the background there. So maybe I'm going to put some pink in there. And see where that goes. Oop, it's probably more pink than I wanted. I got this shimmery pink here. I'll mix this up with some of the beigey color that I've been using. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go back and go over some of these because they disappeared. Okay, these are looking kind of fun. Because I got like 3 different, got some white and some pink on my brush. Let me do these over here. Okay. Okay, so I mean, this page is getting kind of full, and honestly, this is quite a bit of, this is fun, because I'm not really thinking about stuff too much, just going for it. And maybe I'm gonna look for a thicker pen to put in some of those lines. Yep, I found one. Let's see how this does. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's what I want. Just some little stems on these flowers over here. Okay, that's great. So another thing I like to do sometimes in my collages is like very loose, like pretend writing, where I'm not really writing anything, and I'm just like keeping my hand so loose that it'll look like handwriting later, but I'm not really writing anything. So, and then just to come up with like something to pretend that I'm writing, let me pull out this little piece of paper here. What have I got? Just like some text from a book that's on one of these scraps, so that I like have something I can kind of imagine that I'm writing loosely. Okay, let me see here. Okay, this is a thing about the moon and the moon's orbits and stuff. That should be nice. So I'm just gonna like, in the sky. The stars, night, and I'm just keeping my hand really, really loose because I don't want anybody to really actually be able to read this. And that's like, you know, northern lights, and this is probably enough. There. Okay. That's gonna look nice when I cut these strips up. And I was kind of seeing these this way, so okay. So, I mean, what else can I do here? Maybe like some type of a stenciled pattern over there. I've got this. Oh, maybe this. Maybe this. We'll see. Got my sponge still somewhere here. This is pretty. I like that. I think that looks really nice. I'm gonna do some more over here. Maybe I'll do it in like pink. Okay, so I think this is looking really nice. That kind of blended in there, but that's okay. Maybe I'll glue down some little bits of like text on paper in some other places and just fill things in a little bit. Maybe one there. Here. And got some of this. Just got a little bit of a grid design on it. So I'm just like kind of imagining what this is going to look like when I cut it into strips and thinking about that. I'm keeping it pretty neutral so that I could use it for lots of different things. Okay, so now I'm gonna just do like some little dots, just little dots here and there with some pink. These are like just little teeny flowers maybe. Okay. Maybe some over here. My hand's probably in front of the camera. Okay. Okay. I feel like I need a little something up there. Or, you know what, maybe I also want to put something on here because it's just like plain text. Okay, I've got, grab this stamp. It's got this little like Baroque design on it. Okay, there we go. Subtle, but it's there. And then, actually, while I got this out, I'll do another one over there. Okay, and then maybe I could use something like that up there in that corner. Let me see. That's interesting. Yep. And when I first started collecting these silicone stamps, I really liked the idea, but then I quickly realized that you have to have a stamp block to use them, and that they're kind of hard to store. Some of them are really small, so you can't have too many stamp blocks because they're kind of expensive. So I had this idea that eventually I'm going to try to cut a whole bunch of little pieces of wood and glue my stamps on there and make them wooden stamps instead. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. I wished that I'd started collecting wooden stamps instead. Let me just really push that down. Oh, okay, that looks pretty. Yep, and then if I still got a little ink on here, maybe I do a little over here. Okay, yep. I think this is looking really good. So I'm gonna put lots of water on my brush and push some of this bright white paper. Well, it's not bright, but just push that into the background a little bit more. It looks nice with the pink on the text. And little blobbies around here, maybe. Okay, I think that things are looking really good here. I'm just kind of having a look at where I should do any more little like painty things, or if anything needs anything here. This is fun because, like I said, you really don't have to think a whole lot about your design. You're just kind of going for it. I love using a filbert brush to make these types of shapes because to me it looks like little flowers. Okay, and then I think this is looking good. Except to imagine that it's going to be like in strips, not on this whole paper. So, okay, I think that looked good. You also have to kind of make sure stuff is glued down really well, I guess. Kind of regret putting that there, but let's do it now. Okay. And maybe I'm going to take out a pink colored marker. Let's see, this one might be too small or too light. Yeah, it is. That's just going to go right in there. So maybe I'll use this. Just some little like dots and things here and there. Okay. Maybe I'll put some numbers. Just wherever. Okay, so I still feel like I need a little something up there, and I'm not too sure what it is. I'm gonna go off camera for a second, see what I got. Okay, so a while back I bought a bunch of letters that came from an estate sale, and some of them I can't do anything with them because they're somebody's really personal letters, and I didn't think that through before I bought them. So I'm going to have like a bunch of letters in my life that don't belong to me, and then I don't really know the context and don't know who they belong to. So that's kind of interesting. I'm just gonna have to keep some of them because they're too like emotionally charged. But in among that were some other things that were not as meaningful, and I just didn't feel as compelled to keep them. There's one packet that has like ledger sheets and, you know, lists of things from some kind of a business, and yeah, so this one actually had a date on it, December 15th, 1958, and I'm just using a couple of pieces of it, and I'm not going to use the whole thing. I try to use these sparingly because I think they're pretty precious, but I just love that, you know, they give something really nice to any design that you're working on, because there's this little bit of history there that, you know, just gives it meaning. So I'm going to paint over this a little bit, push it back a bit. I've got some really super watered down paint on my brush in that pink color. Okay, so now I can see that I have to glue some stuff down a little bit more because it's starting to come off the paper and I don't want that, but otherwise I think this is pretty much done. So let me go off camera and do some bit of gluing and get things nice and stuck to this paper, and then I'll come back and we'll cut these up and see what they look like, because I'm really excited to see that. Okay, I'm back, and I think everything is pretty well dry and nicely glued down, and I got my trusty little paper trimmer. So I'm actually going to turn this over and cut it like when I can't see this side of it, because I want this to look really random and unique. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to turn it. So if I was looking at the paper this way while I was decorating it, I'm going to turn it like this way and just and go from there. And I'm going to flip it again. Okay, so put these in my paper trimmer. And I'm just going to kind of like eyeball it. I don't necessarily need these pieces to all be the same length or width, but I think I want them to be like not that wide. So I'll just take this one there. Yeah. And then we'll move it over. I think that should have cut through. Okay, so this paper is, oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so this paper has like this weird adhesive sheet right in the middle of it. So I just have to be mindful of that when I'm cutting, and I just have to press a little bit harder. So there we go. Pretty. Oh, I love this one. I love all of these. This was such a nice, fun project. And I think having these on hand when I'm working on collages and in my art journals, it's going to be really nice. Oh yeah. I actually got a little tattoo done on Saturday. You can probably see it. It says Love Auntie Lorraine. Auntie Lorraine was, I mean, obviously, my mom's sister, and I loved her dearly. We spent so much time together throughout my life. She passed away, I think it's been about maybe 6 years now. It's probably been longer, but my cousin's daughter thought of this really nice way to remember her. So we've all gotten tattoos with her signature. So I did that on Saturday, and I went with my cousin. We had a really nice time together, and I think it's just a really nice way to remember somebody if you're into tattoos and you want to think of some different way to commemorate someone's life. Maybe it's a tattoo. This is really looking fun and good, and I'm so glad that I did this. This is going to be really, really nice to have on hand when I've got like a little spot where I need to do something, and I can just cut a piece of this and stick it on, and it's going to look nice. That one. This one's interesting because it came out with that ticket like right on it. Nice. Oh, it's really, really pretty. And then I've just got one more to go. I think this worked out fairly well. My cat is making an appearance. Yeah, there we go. Okay, mister. Okay, mister. This is really nice. And this was the last one. I got some little bird's feet there. Okay, so pretty. I'm looking forward to using these. I think these are a little bit bigger and longer than the ones that Meg did on her YouTube. Meg Journals is the name of her account. So yeah, this was fun. These are pretty, and I'm gonna enjoy using them in some of my collages when I need something a little bit different, or I need to fill in a space. I've got this custom washi tape. So nice. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you felt inspired. Take care.